Fellas, what's going on?
What up, boy?
What up?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
It's all good, man. Everything good over here, man. You know, just staying busy, man.
Good. Nothing wrong with that. What's up with you, Red? How you doing?
I'm good, baby. I'm alive. I'm here.
Good.
That's what's up.
Of course, I go by the name of
DJ Real Life.
Y'all heard that, right? I know you did.
Hell yeah, we heard that.
And of course, man.
Cisco over here.
Of course, everybody listen, make a follow on YouTube. Also, if you don't have YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. All right, and before we get started, man, I want to go ahead and send our prayers and condolences out to two people, man. One, hip hop pioneer, definitely when we was kids, we pretty much damn near the same age. Biz Marquis, want to send our prayers and condolences out to him. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all came up on him. All of us came up on him, actually.
Yeah, man, we was going off.
Yeah, man. Vapors, picking boogers.
Going off.
Yeah, it was, man. So rest in peace to him. And also who died, Chucky Thompson, man. Legendary hitman, bad boy producer. Produced, you know, the Marry My Life album, Big Papa, Biggie Smalls, other Biggie songs, also Faith, Nas, One Mic, legendary producer from the Hitman. So want to send our prayers and condolences out to his family and friends. All right.
And don't forget my man from Cool in the Gang.
What was his name? Yeah, he died like a couple of weeks ago.
Man, I forgot, man, because I didn't know it was that many of them in the group, man.
No,
you know,
it was a lot.
But still, man, you know who he is. Condolences for him too and the family, man. You know, prayers.
Absolutely. Rest in peace to them. So, fellas.
Yo, what's up?
We're going to get right into it, man. People still talking about it. We're going to talk about it because it was a legendary night. Verzuz. Lox versus Dipset. Red. Because I've been talking to Cisco about it for a week now. So I'm gonna start with you first. What you think about that Verzuz matchup?
You know, like I said on my show, I felt that the Lox was going to edge it, have an edge. I got so many other perspectives, but I mean, at the end of the day, from how it was promoted from the Lox and both of their sides, as far as a battle goes, you know, everybody know the Lox won that. I really feel it was great for hip hop. Jada got a chance to show why he lobbies that he's one of the top 5 dead or alive. You know what I mean? He showed out.
So in other words, he proved himself.
I mean, not to me. I mean, I already knew what it was. I just feel like I think it really needs to be clarity from people on when you start ranking.
They really don't know.
When you start ranking artists, you know. So when somebody says this person is better than that person because of their catalog, I mean, are we talking about, though, as far as an MC or as a lyricist? I mean, okay. And I think that's where there's a huge misunderstanding. There's so many dope lyricists where catalogs would be nice, but I'm talking about if you was just to give them a mic and put them on stage and freestyles and let them do what they do, there's a big difference, you know?
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, but I think for this, you know, for Verzuz, the people only thing they care about is just the hits.
Well, I would agree with that. And in that case, what somebody said to me, and it was brought up again on Monday, was Dipset was more in the Verzuz format. You know, the format wasn't really about trying to perform the records live. And they well them did, you know, played the music, performed over the music, you know, and did certain things. But I felt that if you guys promoted a battle, you know, and you guys promoted high energy for Madison Square Garden, I felt that, you know, Dipset just wasn't prepared for what the Lox, how they came.
Right.
You know, I thought one was prepared to battle, one was prepared to do a versus format. You know, but also I feel like, and I said this before, Dipset's energy should have been like it was toward the end. They came out with that same energy, still might have been better. I didn't like Dipset's sound. Like
I agree.
the sound, they had them sounding muffled.
Right. I agree.
You know?
And the DJ, I don't know who the DJ was, but the DJ wasn't that good as well.
I mean, it was just a lot, but for the promotion of a tour, I think it served its purpose.
Let's just
I
go.
think it was good for hip hop, and I think they may have set a tone for future verses where they're going to be more in that type of mode where, listen, just drop the instrumental and let us do what we do.
Right.
You know, Kiss kept saying it, like, we MCs, we battling, like, let's do this. Right. You know, spit your rhymes, you know. And these weren't supposed, you should have been able to spit your rhymes. They're not freestyles. These are songs you've been performing over 2 decades.
Right.
He gave us the whole package. And you know, like going back to Dipset, their playlist was weak at first. That first hour of that set, they got bangers. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. And I always told Real this. I was never a big fan of either one of them, but I respected them more the Lox. But I know the hits that Dipset bring to the table. There was a lot of records they got a lot of records that they didn't play at all. Exactly. It could have took the show to another level. It would have looked more competitive.
That's what I'm saying.
It would have looked more competitive, and you know they should have rehearsed that shit because it just showed the world, man, that you know that talent is out there and shit.
Yeah, I think like what Red said, one of the big difference was they just wasn't organized. You could tell the Lox had rehearsse. It like the Dipset didn't. Like they just came out like, you know, we just gonna do it because we in New York. We just gonna do it. Our anthems and everything is gonna pretty much be good enough. That's how it looked. And they came out and they looked sluggish. It was rapping to the actual song with the lyrics. Like there was no energy there. There was a lot of songs that they didn't play. Like I felt like Cam should have played Horse and Carriage. You know what I'm saying? Like there was some records that they left out.
Thing. I felt Cam should have taken control.
Right. Like just how like Kiss did.
Yeah. And even if you were gonna play the hits, I felt that there was much more hits in their catalog that could have been played, that could have been displayed. But this is what's proven, you know, to a lot of the people's points. They were just really in the verses battle mode. Like just play the record. We're gonna just, you know, do a little bit ad lib over it. And it wasn't. See, they weren't in a mind frame where this is a mini performance. This is just a verses. Let's just play these hits and let's go hit for hit. And I guess, you know, in some type of funny way, hit for hit may not have been good. Some people may say for the Lox, but because a lot of it, listen to me, to be honest, Lox killed them with a lot of the features they own. They own a lot of big records.
Yeah, when they said, you don't have nothing for the ladies, it was like back to back to back. Just
they stumped them.
They killed them. You know, it was just Ride or Die Chick. It was Honey. It was the J-Lo joint. It was just like back to back to back bangers for chicks.
Yeah, they really stumped them on down. Like, damn, they played records that I didn't even realize they had and shit. Right. You know?
See, I think what Kiss did and the Lox, because most of the audience that watched that, they're young. They grew up.
That was 600 plus just on Instagram alone.
Right. So they grew up. A lot of the younger audience grew up on Dipset. A lot of them people probably don't even know who the Lox is, because you saw what happened the next day. Jada streams went up like 200%. And then it was saying he's the most underrated, blah, 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 which is not true. He's always been nice. He's been nice since Since 95, 96? So it opened up a new...
I can see why. You can see why. I can see why they say he was the most underrated.
You think so? Because I don't think he is.
Like we know that. We know the skills that he
No,
brings.
I do. Yeah,
we know.
I think
But there's
think
people. Let me explain something. There's something that happens here. There's a lot of MCs that don't get the recognition and they don't get that chance with the promotion. Look at Papoose.
Yeah.
You got MCs, man, that they just don't get that marketing.
But the reason I say he's not underrated because he's always came out and said he's top 5 Dead or Alive, and no one ever debated that. You know what I'm saying? He's been on crazy features. He has classic songs. Like I don't think he's underrated. Like I agree with somebody like with a Papoose. I think he's underrated, like somebody like that. But I don't think Jada's underrated. Well, they always say that he never had a bad verse.
It depends on who you're talking to, though, because this goes back to the comment of what I said earlier. When you're judging this, are you looking at the overall catalogs? Because album success, with some of the artists that they put before him, they're looking at it from catalog to catalog, not MC, rhyming.
Looking at it just for hits. Versus is just about
I can't stand that shit.
Say that again.
I can't stand that shit. This catalog shit. Okay, I know catalog.
People, and this is why I feel like most people judge Jadakiss off of his catalog, his album success.
But they shouldn't though. Like, but you shouldn't with him because
that's why they say he's underrated. Because I give an example. I was looking at something today, and somebody says Busta Rhymes is not even in a top 10 MC, and then I heard some of the debates or rappers, and some people's list. I'm looking at it. But on one of them, I saw you got Nicki Minaj on there. I'm like, huh? And then the reasoning being was, they ended it by saying Busta's catalog is not better than none of these 10 artists. And I'm like, okay, so a catalog is going to determine who's a top MC.
But you got,
I don't know.
You got to look at who's saying that too. How old is this person saying that? Because if they're saying Nicki Minaj has a better catalog than Busta Rhymes, they're young as hell.
He's well credible. He already got a plaque off for producing on Pop Smoke album, so he knows.
He young.
No, he been around since Have, producing with Have and Al B from my time. You know what I mean? Well respected. I respect him all body. But the debate was very interesting. So
was he drinking when he said that?
Huh?
Was he drinking when he said that?
Nah, listen, because he uses his producers there, he be on point on some things, and he just has a different look at it. But when he says, okay, Busta's catalog ain't better than these top 10, then okay, now you got to look at it differently. So this is why I asked the $1 million question. Are we going off with just rhyming skills, or are we going off of the catalog? And that's important.
That's the thing. If it's verses, you're going by the catalog. You're going by hits. That's what it's about. It ain't about being an MC. Like that's a whole different thing from verses. Now, outside of verses, if you're saying who's the better MC, that's a different story. But people who watch verses, they don't care about your MCing, your mic skills, and all that. They want to hear the songs that they're used to hearing that they know about, or the songs they forgot about, and they bring it back.
That's where the signals got crossed. I think with the Dipset and I think that's where the signals got crossed with the Dipset and Lox verses.
Yeah, the Dipset should check in.
I think that's where the signals got crossed.
Yeah,
because if you think about it,
she said that Diddy called them and was like, "Yo, do the shit off your mixtapes.
It's bigger than their albums." Yeah, he did say that. Yep.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So it's more of a preference, what you're looking for, how you're trying to analyze certain things, and put them into perspectives. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of it is just good for the culture because it sparks the conversation. It really introduces a lot of the older statesmen to the new generation and introduce the new generation to them. You know what I mean? Far as why they say what they say or do what they do when it comes to critiquing music. One thing I will say is whatever happened to Verzuz does not discredit Dipset.
Not at all. Not
You
at all.
understand?
They just had a bad night.
Both sides.
You know, and they still got hits.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not going to change.
Yeah, you can't take anything away what they've done for the culture. You know, they're very influential in the 2000s. So they just had a bad night.
I don't think like I said, I feel if it was very clear that that's how it was going to be done, they might have put on they might have done some things differently. So at the end of the day, I it was good. I felt now the younger generation probably can have a mixed view on it because they're looking at why is one side doing this and the other side doing that. But once again, you got to know
what I'm saying for the younger generation.
You got to know the records.
You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying for the younger generation?
See the energy increase when toward the end when Dipset started doing all of the hits. And like I said, playing the Master P record, I thought was a no-no.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying for the younger generation?
The Master
you know what I'm
P
saying?
record.
Is that the younger generation picked Dipset, but they seen how Jada and the Lox perform. And they're like, oh, okay. I didn't know they did this or that. So they gained more. The ones who didn't know, they gained more respect for the Lox, even though they probably was going for Dipset.
Yeah.
I got to ask y'all this question. Real talk. What did people really expect in this battle?
Thinking, you give me red?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I'm gonna answer this real quick. We're gonna move on. I think what they expected was what they received. I think they expected a lot of energy. I think some people expected Dipset to walk away with it. That's why I think it's such a surprise to them to see that how Jada performed, how the Lox are more prepared, and they were disappointed on how Dipset performed. But either way, they expected high energy, being that it's in the Garden, it's in New York, it's two New York groups. I think they expected that. But I think they expected more from Dipset. So they got what they wanted in the sense of just hip-hop being there, people being behind them on stage, Rough Riders, Bird Gang, all kinds of people in the crowd. They expected that. They just, what they seen out of Dipset, they didn't expect that. So I think that's what it was. Like, this wasn't no popcorn R&B sweet thing that we normally see on Verzuz. Next to Jeezy and Gucci Man, this is like one of the most.
That was personal,
right? I mean, but this is the most gutter Verzuz that we had outside of that.
It is, but that one was personal.
Yeah,
like Gucci had
really
to say
interesting.
To get some things off his chest.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, but check this out. You familiar? I was asking. Y'all familiar with Jemele Hill?
Yeah.
From Shorty that used to work for ESPN.
Yeah.
Did you hear the comments that she made about the top 5?
What?
Let me play it for you. Right quick. Let me know.
Is that it's multi-generational now.
Totally.
And see, it wasn't that way before. And that's why, I feel like in sports, I've said this about top 5s with, basketball. The top 5 has got to change. It can't be the same one rooted forever because we're seeing different shit all the time.
Yeah.
But in hip hop, I feel like we're just so much more emotional about who those top 5 rappers are. Like, I love Tupac, I love Biggie, but they're gonna have to move out the top 5 because it's new shit that we're seeing.
Got better.
People have gotten better.
They got
it's
more
like
accolades. I think that's a great point. Like, one of the things that frustrates me is we got a lot of former players and former people in the media, and I wish they understood how much they.
All right, y'all heard that, right?
Yeah.
That was on The Shop, the LeBron show that comes on HBO. So how do y'all feel about that?
The way I do it, I have a new thing now. I don't pick top 5 because we got 48 years of hip hop.
Yeah. Shout out to hip hop, by the way.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to hip hop as of yesterday.
No doubt.
Okay, so check this out. I started this new thing when people ask me, who's your top 5 MCs? I stop everybody right there for the same reason that this is what I do. So and so to me, it's a top 10 category MC of all times. I don't put them in orders anymore. because there's so many MCs out there, man.
Yeah.
So what I do is like a dude to me like Kool G Rap. He's a top 5 category MC. It's like giving plaques. You know, like this guy is a top 5 category because to you and to me, we have different views of who's in your top 5.
Right. So based on what you said, do you feel like that the newer generation will eventually get rid of the greats that we put in the top 5, like a Biggie, Pac, and Jay-Z? Do you feel like anybody today would get rid of those people?
Listen, coming from the hip hop world that we come from, no, that's not gonna happen because hip hop.
I think her comment is a fair perspective. I've said it for a long time. 48 years of existence, and you only want to try to grab 5 motherfuckers. Oh, there's gonna be conversations because a lot of it still also is gonna boil down to preference. Depending on who's talking, it's who they like.
Okay,
exactly.
So right or wrong. It ain't like somebody go. If somebody pull Bow Wow or somebody out, then it's like really. But if you're pulling out credible MCs,
give me some of today. Give me some of today, because she said eventually they got to change the top 5 MCs of today. Do you see any MCs of today that can knock off a Pac, a Big, a Jay?
Well, here's the thing. I would just answer it as these are the top 5 MCs I think of today. That's just, I'm going to answer that question
of
just
today.
Of today. This ain't about and they beat Kool G Rap or they better than Rakim or Karis. This is not about that. That's not what the question was asked. The question is of today. So all of those guys. No. The question was asked. She feels that the people that we put up top 5, Mount Rushmore rap, they're going to be replaced by people of today. So what I'm saying, based on what she's saying, do you see anybody of today that can knock off those top 5 that's up there?
No.
Okay.
No.
I agree. Like, I do not see anybody. That's not a knock on the younger generation. I do not see anybody that can knock off Tupac. I don't see anybody that can knock off Biggie. I don't see anybody that can knock off Jay-Z or Nas or Rakim. I don't see any MCs of today knocking them off.
What I will say though, I think they're more entertaining.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's
a whole nother. But that's what I'm saying though. This is what it's more like. They're more visual.
Right. Well, I mean,
they're doing more.
Yeah, I mean, times have changed. Like back then, it wasn't that visual. You
correct.
Hip hop back then, especially when Rakim and them guys are rapping. What you have, video music box, but now
we only had a couple of things. Now you got streaming, you got a lot more personal. You know, they can get a lot more personable.
Right.
It's just a totally different animal. So I really think that just like when people should do with sports, is you should start going generational at some point.
Yeah.
Because when something has been again almost 50 years, I mean, Doug's depending on who you're talking to. You know, you're gonna have discussions like people would say Dr. J if you were talking to them when everybody was screaming Jordan. You know what I mean?
My pops.
Now you got people screaming Kobe. Now you got people screaming LeBron. So it's gonna depend on the generation because remember, we represent the generation we come from.
Right. Well said.
Period.
Well said.
Period. We gonna represent the generation just like your parents would come in and say, man, that ain't music, boy, and put on the 4 tops. You know what I'm saying? They're repping what they know.
Right. Very true.
You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, because my pops would be the first to tell you, he'd be like you said, Will and Dr. J was the best in his time.
I'm trying to tell you. And I think as long as you continue to credit people for what they do in their generational time of their successes and their milestones, as long as everyone continues to get their credit, I mean, you're always going to have a debate. This is why I said the greatest of all time is kind of, it's just a loaded question. It's a question for conversation.
Yeah, I think it should be more of who is your favorite.
Basically.
And for the people
that's basically what you're asking.
Yeah, for the people who think this generation will knock off the top tier of the best of the best.
Shut up!
That's what I think about that.
Now you could go catalog for catalog, and that's funny because music travels differently now.
Yeah.
And they
You know,
tell you something like the Verzuz where people like, damn, he's that good, and then go back and want to know who you are, and that's why Jadakiss went up 200%. Because now
Right.
people are like, damn, I didn't know he was that good. Yes, because he's not in the wheelhouse of the younger generation until now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Very true. Very true.
You
Okay,
know, same thing with producers. I don't think we got producers no more. I think we got beat makers, but that's another topic. You know what I
you're
mean?
right, though. Yeah, that's
So
another topic.
the
But you're right,
concept
though.
of production,
You're right.
you know.
Chucky,
But Jemele Hill,
Chucky
Don't let
Thompson
me-
was a real producer.
Don't let me. I think y'all gonna jump me on that when we get on that topic. Y'all gonna
No,
jump me
we're not
on-
doing that. No, we're not
nah,
doing
nah,
that.
nah. What else you got, brother?
Let me ask you guys this. What do you guys think is the best record label? And you could, and when we say best record label, we could say longevity, we could say artists, we could say impact on the culture. What do you feel like is the best record label all time?
You mean independent or like, let's
could be-
say,
It could be
You mean hip-hop,
independent,
right?
it could be major,
You mean hip hop, right?
it could be any of them.
See,
It
but
could be
see,
I
that's-
say Motown.
that goes in preference, man.
If you,
Oh, who you
if
like?
we ain't talking hip hop, I'll say Def Jam.
okay.
Damn.
If we talking outside of, I'm gonna say Motown.
So you say hip hop, Def Jam, you say R&B, Motown?
Or overall Motown, absolutely.
Okay. Damn, that's a good one. That's a good one, man. That's a good
Absolutely.
That's tough though in hip hop because
No, it ain't.
one. Why you say
No,
it's
it
tough,
ain't.
Cisco? Why you say it's tough?
no, it's tough because I won't argue with you that it's Def Jam.
I knew
I mean, you got LL Cool J, one of the icons, the trendsetters. You know, that was the first artist in Def Jam, and then you got fucking You know, I ain't never gonna argue with you, bro.
Listen, I'm
thinking
gonna
about-
tell you. I'll tell you why I say Def Jam real quickly.
They had the
Def
most
Jam-
longevity.
Well, no, they really set it up to say, listen, we're the place you want to come to be heard.
Yeah,
See what I'm saying? So when they opened that door, every other label that came from learned from either Rick Rubin or Russ or anybody that worked at Def Jam. And you can kind of say that's the foundation. Everything else is branches. I don't care where you come from because the lesson in the game was taught.
Mm.
You understand? And as hip hop grew, not only did Def Jam grow, but other labels grew.
Right.
And then other major labels wanted to put their hands in the pot. So Def Jam to me is the most impactful label in hip hop.
I ain't
Because
saying
of that.
nothing. I ain't saying
Everything else
nothing.
is a branch. Listen, everything else is a branch off. I mean, you look at the top guy that everybody talks about, Jay-Z. He even went and became president of Def Jam. I mean, let's think about that. Let's think about the Wheels and the DMXs and the Method Mans and everybody that came through there. You know, the Redmans. I mean, like
answer,
you said,
man.
the LLs. You can keep going on and on and on. But
Public
Russell
Enemy.
Simmons and Rick Rubin, when they planted that seed, that tree grew into 48 years
Yeah.
of other labels, other teams and camps coming out to create labels. And then those labels were able to partner with major labels.
Right.
But believe me, if Russ and them didn't set the tone on how hip hop should be done and marketed, and you'd have went to one of them crazy other labels that only dealt with rock, roll, or pop music, hip hop wouldn't have been here for 48 years.
Yeah, Russell Simmons took it to the world like that.
Yeah.
And then he taught everybody.
Yeah, let me speak on it right quick.
ahead,
I
bro.
agree with you, Red. You took my answer because I said the same thing. I'm gonna name some honorable mention labels that's on there. I'm gonna give Uptown their praises, you know what I'm saying? Uptown don't get
Andre
enough
Harrell.
praises.
Shout
You know
out
what I'm
to
saying?
Andre Harrell.
Andre, rest in peace, Andre Harrell, Young Puff Daddy's intern, Mary J, Father MC,
Yeah.
Jodeci,
Ev,
Heavy D.
yeah,
But
Def Red, you
yeah,
know,
Def Red. And I'm also give Bad
Show the
Boy some
seat.
love too. Bad Boy.
Yeah.
Like
Now, let me really stir the pot, Ralph.
So Def.
Well, that's one you can do that, but I say No Limit. May not be a fan of Masterpiece music, but the man's business and how he was able to market and put his artists out there and put money in everybody's pocket and really bring the Southern sound to the game, bro. Yeah. This is what I'm trying to tell you, man.
But I'm gonna stick with Def Jam. Also, like you said, all the artists that they have, Russell, you know what I'm saying, Rick Rubin, then under them, Leo Conan, Kevin Lyles, and they were the blueprint of hip hop. Like Puffy looked up to them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looked up to them. Like if you had a Def Jam jacket, you was the man. Like just to have the logo of the record, like it was monumental. You have LL, you have Public Enemy, you have Slick Rick, you had all these different legendary artists on there.
Even Warren G
that was the
went
label
there.
Everybody wanted to go to. Everybody wanted to be on Def Jam.
Thank you, Ralph, because I was about to say that. Listen, at one point when you was a rapper, you knew you made it when Def Jam threw a contract at you. Nobody was trying to rap for and be signed to other labels.
Everybody wanted to be a part of Def Jam.
Everybody. Everybody wanted to.
Everybody at some point. Violator came in, but like I said, Def Jam created a different ambiance for you as a rapper.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously then you had that certain decade and that certain point in generation, and then this was when independent come in, and then you got to take your hat off to everybody who saw a blueprint and says, okay, let me put my fingerprints on it. You know what I'm saying? And this is all the beautiful creativity with the different labels. So,
and I'm gonna give Bad Boy a little love because, like I said, Diddy, what he learned from Uptown, he brought it to his umbrella. He gets Craig Mack, he gets Big, and then he had R&B. He gets Faith Evans, he gets 112, he gets Carl Thomas. Like they had a dynasty over there as well. He had the Lox, like they had Mace. Like he had a lot of hits, you know what I'm saying? So I want to give him a lot of love too. I still say Def Jam is by far the best label, but after Def Jam for me, it would probably be Bad Boy.
Death Row.
I knew he was gonna say that's Death Row for you, number one, right?
But you know something?
No. But you know what?
Gotta throw him in there.
Yeah, you do. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna agree that Bad Boy had more R&B.
Yeah.
Than Death Row.
Yeah, Death Row had no R&B.
They had R&B artists. They just didn't really like take it there like that.
Who they had? Nate Dogg?
No. I'm not even counting that. But when you say hip hop, you could throw Death Row in there.
Absolutely.
Because regardless of what he did and he messed up the label, Suge, he was a genius at the way he was pushing that label.
Yes, it was, definitely.
You know, excluding the ass whoopings and shit, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know, man, but he was a genius. But then again, they had the doctor there, man. They had a team. And that new sound that they came up with the Chronic and all that.
Yeah.
Nate Dogg, Snoop, you know, like the Dog Pound, that shit was just, it was different, man. So it helped take it to that level.
Yeah, no doubt, man. They definitely placed their mark in hip hop. Definitely got to be recognized as one of the better labels. You know what I'm saying? Also,
but like Red said something like, I can see where all these like independent labels like So Def and like Rap A Lot. Everybody saw Def Jam. You know what? I want to own a record label.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to sell merch. You know what I'm saying? Just like Def Jam.
Yeah.
They inspired others to be the next Russells and things. And again, it opened up a lot of things for a lot of us Black people, man. I mean, instead of being the workhorse, you know, people started thinking about, well, we could be the boss. We could work this. I mean, it was an inspiration as well. You know, it's more than just putting out records and signing artists. They inspired. And people in the hip hop community. And that's why I say they're the foundation and the edge. But yes, you can call the Death Rows, the No Limits, the Cash Monies, the Bad Boys, the Violators, the Rap-A-Lots, you know, call all of that. But I assure you, they were all inspired
by
that one hip hop label.
Hey, Red, check it. Are you going? You home already?
Nah, I just walking up here and Sion crib. What's up?
Oh, tell my boy I said what's up, bro.
Yeah, man. Tell him I say what's up, man. I ain't seen him in a minute.
You holler at him.
Yeah, ahead of my time to analyze my lines. Yeah,
Oh,
what up, bro?
What's up, man?
Damn.
Going live. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's good with y'all?
Yeah, man.
Yo, why don't you ask Sion, bro? Come on, let's get another dude up in here, baby. We
What
out
you talking
here.
about?
Ask him.
Or the last question we talked about?
Yeah. Ask him.
All right. What you think is the best hip hop label of all time? The best, if you had to pick one.
Hip hop label?
Yeah. If you had to pick one. Or just the best label. Just it ain't got to be hip hop. The best label of all time.
Top of my head, Def Jam.
There you go.
Hey, it's over. That's it.
It's easy. All right, fellas, man. About to get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all joining us, man.
That was a nice close out right there.
Yeah, it was, man. He like the real Black Panther for real too.
Yeah, I know. We walked up in the hood. You know, let them know, man. We out here. You know, it's love.
All right, man.
That's what's up.
We got to do this again. I appreciate it. Again, you can catch this on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other listening platforms as well. All right, we out.
Yo, before you go, Rel,
what's up?
Let the people know, man.
Oh, shout out where we can find you.
Oh, yo, you just follow Mr. Flynn on IG, man. Just follow your boy Street Corner Radio Show on Street Corner Radio Show. What's up? Oh, sorry, the Street Corner Radio Show on Facebook.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What you about to say though?
Yo, let them know about that other topic, man. About the producers and producers versus beat makers.
We ain't got that. We ain't got time for that one.
No, not today.
Trying to start this man
Not
up.
today.
See, he ready. You trying to
No.
start Cisco up.
Not today, Ralph.
Not today, man.
That's our next union, man.
Coming
Y'all
at you.
gonna end up jumping me. I already know.
All right, fellas. We out, man.
All right, yo.
Appreciate y'all.
Man. Come out.